Joining us now, the man we just mentioned, Behind the Mic with Greg Wrubell, 8 Eastern tonight on BYU Radio. He is a very, very busy man these days with BYU Football with Kalani Sitake happening last night. Of course, Behind the Mic tonight.
Coordinator's
Corner. Coordinator's Corner on Monday.
And, oh, yeah, some football and men's basketball in there.
And soccer on Friday night as well.
I've got some homework to do. I got a couple games coming up Friday and Saturday, so we'll get to it, no doubt.
Yeah, we'll get you out of here as soon as
We're all
possible.
busy, but it's great.
It is.
Isn't it great?
The work we do is fun.
Absolutely.
And it's the reason this building may exist is because BYU football was good in the 80s. So it's time. We're here. And last night we had a fun time with BYU football with Kalani Sitake. How would you describe the vibe last night in Studio C?
You just said it, fun. Yeah, it was a fun vibe. We had kind of a late night show feel in a lot of ways with the way Kalani and Fred came into the crowd and high five in the front row. And so no, it's just an excited, optimistic, energized feel last night in Studio C. Great crowd for week one, and Kalani makes the show. I mean, Jordan is the producer, Jerem is the producer, knows that he kind of brings the energy that the fans feed off of, and makes the show what it is. And Fred was a great first guest, great personality. Kalani, a lot of nice things to say about Fred, both as a collegiate player and a potential pro. And you mentioned versatility, kind of the theme of the show today, and he says he plays like a safety, hits like a linebacker, plays with the lineman. I mean, he can really do it all. And so he's a senior captain for a lot of good reasons, and looking forward to watching him play this year. Kalani's just tremendous. I mean, the interaction with the fans on and off the air, the way he answers their questions, just perfect guy for the situation, I think. And Jerem, by the way, tremendous job in helping to put this thing all together. We had many meetings over the last couple of months trying to get this thing up and rolling, and he was in charge of most of the logistics that went into putting this thing on. And you guys both know what it takes to put on an hour-long TV show. You guys do it daily. This show, even just being weekly, is a lot of work, and Jerem and his crew did an amazing job. And I just had to sit there and keep talking.
and it turned out for everybody. And it was a tremendous team effort, great coordination. And I'm excited because I was thinking about all the programming, too, with Coordinator's Corner, obviously BYU Sports Nation every day, Coordinator's Corner on Mondays, BYU Football with Kalani Sitake, After Further Review on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Behind the Mic, all the games. That's what's up, man. We're in it. And we're 3 days away. I cannot wait.
Absolutely. We are with Greg Wrubell in Studio B. We briefly started talking about Matt Hadley and his move to linebacker. And, I feel like the general consensus that it's going to be a good move, and it's going to work out and be just fine. But when you step back, if you don't have much knowledge of the situation, you think, well, you lose the talent of Francis Bernard, who's redshirting right now, and you have to go to a guy that was safety and then a running back and then a safety again, and now he's a linebacker and he returns kicks. That seems a little strange, right?
I would like to see, of the 130 FBS programs out there, how many linebackers are listed as a primary kick returner. I'm just curious.
We brought that up, too. We were like, that's crazy.
He's got to be the only one.
But people forget, he was the off returner last year, too. Aleva Hifo had the most return yards, but Aleva and Matt are the tandem, and BYU runs their returns with an on and an off returner. Matt's the off, meaning primarily he's blocking, but should it come to him, he's got to be good enough with the ball to return it, and he was a tremendous offensive skill player in high school, and so multi-talented. But as we talked about last night, he's a Hadley, so there's got to be some linebacker blood in there somewhere. Spencer did such a tremendous job there, and Fred said that kind of maybe plays more toward Matt's strengths anyways. But versatility is the buzzword here. The fact that two safeties in Matt Hadley and Chaz Ayu, kind of slipped down to OLB, it also speaks not just to the depth that they're going to have at linebacker, but what Ed Lamb feels about his safety group.
Yeah.
The fact that he can, quote unquote, let them go to a different position. As he told me Monday on Coordinator's Corner, he was kind of behind it. He was kind of urging. It wasn't like, I got to keep these guys in my group. He felt, we've got enough guys that if you want to put them into outside linebacker, let's do it. Let's go ahead and do it. And it really does, I think, give Coach Kafusi a lot of different moving parts with varied skill sets to implement at those three linebacker spots. Butch is kind of the trademark middle linebacker, heavy hitter. Fred can do it all at Flash, and now at Bo, different looks of kinds of guys at that position. So I think it speaks both to linebacker and to safety at how well equipped BYU feels there.
And I think Flash is an apt nickname for that position that Fred Warner plays, because he is quick and he's moving around, and he did a nice job on the coach show last night. Who has a better shot Saturday, Portland State or Conor McGregor?
Conor McGregor. Because
No hesitation.
Because all it takes is one hit. One well-timed hit, and you're a winner. Portland State's going to need more than one good hit on Saturday. They're going to need more than than one touchdown or one big. But Conor McGregor needs one hit at the right place at the right time. He's got a lethal hand, as he's shown in a different format and different venue. But that's all it would take. So I'd have to say for that reason alone, because that's all it takes in boxing. It takes a lot more in football, over 60 minutes to beat a team, an FBS team at altitude, at home. On Saturday. So Portland State. I've got a fighter's chance, but I don't think they maybe have as good. And Conor McGregor may get destroyed. I mean, he may get decisioned immediately when it's over. I'm not sure. He's not a knockout guy. So this thing could go a few rounds. Whether it's a TKO or a decision or a knockout, Conor may get blasted in this thing. But again, it takes one poke, and that's
Good
it.
Point.
Okay.
And Portland State has a fighter's chance. Yeah, love it. Okay, Greg.
No, not much of one. Let's note that the average score between BYU and its FCS foes is 50-8 over BYU's FCS history. Yeah. So they rarely get challenged in any way by this.
BYU will lead the country in scoring probably after week 0.
Yes,
that's the hope.
Yeah. Portland State's Glass Joe from Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, right?
Which we have upstairs, and you played the other day.
That's what's happening. Okay, when you look at BYU and the offense, you mentioned to me the other day that BYU averages 50 points a game in their FCS competition. I mean,
maybe you said that just 30 seconds ago.
Yeah, right. Is that the mark of success that would? I mean, does BYU have to hit that mark to be successful on Saturday?
I don't know. I guess I hesitate to throw a number on it because ultimately you want to win, you want to stay healthy. Ideally, you want to see what some other guys can do. But basically, it's about starting strong, making sure the guys that start the game execute well. I think if BYU has a successful first quarter and a quarter, quarter and a half, and get a multiple score lead, you're off to what you need to do to beat that team. Don't want to throw a number on it again, but just historically, they're going to score 7-8 touchdowns.
Yeah, I think you need to get into the 40-plus range where you're like, there were enough times you crossed the end zone, and defensively you're holding them down. Again, I said it. I've been saying it for a while. Whatever happens, it doesn't matter. The overreaction will be awesome because it will all be tied into LSU. And I've jokingly said, and I said it at the Big Blue Bash, when you hear the coaching staff say Portland State, just think LSU, and it'll just make it a little more fun this week.
Well, BYU does put some film out there, obviously, for LSU to look at. BYU won't have that same advantage coming up the following week. But again, ideally, it's one where you play a lot of guys. And so that's the expectation, is to hopefully get a number of different second and third stringers in there with a lead that you can maintain.
Stay pretty healthy, and then you.
And then the biggest thing I think really is don't lose anybody.
Be
you
healthy
really
going
need.
to LSU. Yeah. We asked, we asked Blaine Fowler yesterday if he thought that BYU would be ranked at any point this season. He said yes, and then we were going to discuss next week with him when he feels like that is most realistic. What do you think? Do you think BYU will be ranked at some point this season, given the layout of the schedule?
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, clearly, if they win their first two games, they're ranked right away. But the way the schedule sets up with consecutive home games there in September, and again, if BYU just wins its home games, 4 weeks in, you're 3-1 if you just win your home games.
With wins over Utah and Wisconsin.
Right. So if you just win your home games,
you're
3-1 through 4 weeks, and I think you'd be a ranked team at that point too.
To me, you're
it's a long season, and there is that chance back half of the schedule, especially to kind of maybe get on a bit of a roll. And I think with the schedule BYU has, if they can keep those losses, to 1 or 2 through a couple of months, I think they'll be ranked.
Between the lines, went outside the lines of sorts yesterday with their superlatives from players, and you were included in this. You got the Mr. Clean treatment. Your reaction to that as we show the photo on BYUtv?
Well, it's...
You look good, Greg.
Thank you so much.
The earring, I think you got to consider it.
Somebody said on Twitter today that they always consider me to be an earring guy. I'm not sure how to take that necessarily.
That's kind of a weird comment, yeah.
You know, my life the way it is, hairline the way it stands these ways. I guess I'm set up for these kinds of things. It's okay. I accept it. I embrace it. Yeah, I'm not hiding from it. It's all right.
Mr. Clean's jacked too.
And that was emphasized during the Super Bowl
I wish I could
commercial.
be as ripped. I wish I could be as ripped as Mr. Clean. I'm not. I've got some work to do there. But it's all right. You know, again, clean. It's a good look, right? Clean.
It's a very BYU look.
I'd rather be Mr. Clean than Mr. Trash, you know. or Mr. could use a shower this week, that kind of thing.
This is true.
Mr.
This is
Trash.
true. Let's finish up with this. And I've heard that, because we're talking about Mr. Clean as a heartthrob, why not keep along those lines for something cool about Canada?
Oh, yeah. Is it that time?
Yeah, it is that time.
Cue the music.
All right. So the ladies in the audience, the ladies of a certain age, primarily the younger ones. You know, we're probably we're looking to the 18 to 24 demo, and I'm sure that's a big part of your audience. So the ladies of that age, and even probably maybe some of the women who are a little beyond that, they love Ryan Gosling and Ryan Reynolds. The two Ryans.
So dreamy.
The two Ryans are among the favorite actors of that target demographic. Did you know? Both Ryans are Canadian.
Wow.
I did not know this.
Ryan Reynolds left, Ryan Gosling right. And by the way,
Ryan Gosling have lipstick on in that photo?
Does look a little vibrant there.
Yeah.
So and by the way, you know, a lot of people get confused on the two Ryans, and you know, scruffy in this one. So, but yeah, Ryan Reynolds left and Ryan Gosling right, both native Canadians. There you go.
That's
again not sure how cool that is, and again we're kind of targeting a demo tonight, but yeah.
The 18 to 24 ladies demographic thinks that's the best thing
you
you've
ask
ever
favorite
said
actors,
on BYU
and one of those
Sports
two guys is going to get mentioned. So there you go.
That's the first time we cut the anthem short, by the way.
Yeah, well,
so we went quick. That's fine. I normally like
no disrespect. I know.
Yeah, no disrespect.
Right.
A cool thing about Canada. Oh, also.
No. Tonight on Behind the Mic with Greg Wrubell, our colleague Lauren Franken McLean is on the show.
That's right.
Lauren leads off the show tonight at 6 o'clock. Also on the program,
Mr. Clean.
We will probably have to address it. So Lauren, followed by Ben Cahoon. We'll talk wide receivers and Ben's life, including a lot of time in Canada.
Yeah.
And then Ashley Hatch joining us from North Carolina.
Great.
Yeah.
Man, loaded.
All right.
Hey, I don't know if you know this, but BYU averages 50 points a game against FCS opponents.
I think you mentioned.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned that.
Yeah, it did get brought up.
One of my finer moments.
And
on
LSU is
Sports
gold.
Nation.
And LSU is gold.
And LSU, yes, not yellow, is gold.
Hey, we are learning and improving here.
That's what it's all about.
Like Mr. Clean and Mr. Trash.
Yeah, not Mr. Trash, Mr. Clean, Greg Wrubell. Thanks, Greg.